Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, "Saying is not a pogo stick." The original poster is Office Reasonable 2093, posted to r/AmITheAsshole on March 20th, 2025. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she insisted I pay for her sister's student loans? So I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 26 female, for about 2 years. A few months ago, I got really lucky and won about 80K. Not life-changing money, but definitely a nice chunk of change. I'm removing the name of the app because I'm in full belief that this is an undisclosed advertisement. We're still going to cover the post though, out of curiosity. My girlfriend has been struggling with student loans, about 35K, so I decided to help her out and paid them off completely. She was super grateful at first, crying and thanking me for weeks. Fast forward to last week, her sister, 24 female, is also dealing with student loans, about 42K worth. My girlfriend started hinting that since I helped her, I should also help her sister. I laughed it off at first, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. She got increasingly pushy about it, saying things like, "You have plenty left," and "It's selfish to help me and not my sister," and "Family helps family." I explained that while I care about her family, I'm not responsible for her sister's student loans. I already did something generous that most boyfriends wouldn't do, and her sister's finances aren't my responsibility. This turned into a massive fight where she called me selfish and greedy. She literally said, "What's the point of having money if you don't help people with it?" She then gave me an ultimatum, either pay her sister's student loans or she'd reconsider our relationship. I broke up with her on the spot. Now she's blowing up my phone saying I overreacted and her family thinks I'm an asshole. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to pay for her sister's loans and ending the relationship over this? Before we read the comments and assuming that this isn't just a paid advertisement post, let's say, hypothetically, OP did end up paying his girlfriend's sister's student loans off. OP would now be underwater. Now you might be thinking, how could he be underwater for paying off someone else's student loans? I guarantee he hasn't fucking paid taxes on the amount that he won in gambling yet. So, if he won the 80K, spent the 35K, hasn't put any aside for taxes yet, well, now if he spent 42K on someone else's student loans, that leaves him with what, an additional $3,000? That's not enough to cover the taxes on that. Anyways, top comment. ASOT-1. You can reverse a student loan payment. I did when there was that chance of the 10K forgiveness and it was months after the payment. You're not the asshole, and you should get your money back since she so quickly showed her true colors. Update post, April 1st, 2025. Nearly 2 weeks later. So a couple weeks ago I posted about how I, 28 male, broke up with my girlfriend, 26 female, after she demanded I pay off her sister's 42K in loans, after already paying off her 35K loans. Y'all overwhelmingly said not the asshole and suggested I reverse the payment. Well, I did exactly that. Called the loan servicer, explained the situation, and was able to get the 35K payment reversed. My ex absolutely lost it when she found out, blowing up my phone with 50+ texts calling me every name in the book. She's telling everyone I stole from her family and is threatening legal action. LOL, good luck. Her sister even showed up at my apartment screaming about how I ruined their plans. Whatever that means. My friends are split. Half think it was savage but justified, others think I should have just walked away without taking the money back. But honestly, the fact they immediately started planning how to spend my money on the sister confirms I made the right call. So, am I the asshole for taking money back that was clearly part of a manipulation scheme? Top comments, Loop adjacent. So glad to read this update. They acted entitled to your money before and after all of this. Go treat yourself. Get a new phone number and put cameras up at your house. Save all the texts, in case you need to go the legal route with the harassment. Feral Faith comments, they were straight up trying to use you as a human ATM, and their reaction just proves they were never in it for anything real. They're screaming about stealing when they were trying to steal your money, LMAO. The sister showing up to your apartment, that's harassment. They're all showing their true colors, and they're ugly. You did the right thing. They wanted to play games, and now they're finding out they can't win. Let them cry about it. They're lucky you didn't press charges. I'm still convinced that this one might actually just be an undisclosed advertisement for an unnamed app that I'm not going to include because this is literally all their post history has. And a few comments that are unrelated to this, but their main post itself, only this. So again, adding the disclosure of the fact of, don't trust gambling apps. Literally probably less than 1% of 1% of 1% will actually ever see earnings or winnings like this. Now, on to the meat of the post. I think OP's actions are entirely justified here. In a situation like this, I think that if someone was in this position where they did something nice for their partner, then they kept asking for more, demanding more, pressuring them to do more, then started making plans with the money that they would be saving because they're abusing OP's generosity, then they turn around and give you an ultimatum, either you spend the remaining of your winnings on my sister or I'm breaking up with you. Yeah, you're being taken advantage of, and I don't blame OP for getting that $35K back. OP's ex-girlfriend probably thought that she could get away with being the way that she was because she didn't realize that takesies backsies were on the table. But what do you think? Do you think OP should have just let sleeping dogs lie and, left the $35K to help his ex? Or do you think that what he did was justifiable? I'm personally in the boat that because of how OP's ex reacted, that it was justified. He did something generous and she felt that she was entitled to milk that generosity for all it was worth. This post was collected by Lucy Aria Rose, and their tagline is, of course, I'm keeping the garlic. Originally posted February 20th, 2024 to r/am_I_the_asshole by you/garlic throwaway. Am I the asshole for controlling what my 23 female boyfriend, 24 male, eats? Throwaway because I don't want him to find this, but I'm honestly at my wit's end here. I, 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend, Jake, 24 male, for 4 years. I'd say we're a happy couple overall, but lately this argument has come up that's divided us. He's always had unique tastes. Cereal with orange juice instead of milk, mayo and butter sandwiches, and raw onions have been the worst culprits. I've put up with these. We all have our quirks, right? Well, 2 weeks ago, he started eating garlic as his midnight snack. Raw cloves of garlic. I can't share a drink with him without it reeking of garlic somehow. And kissing him? It's like shoving a clove straight in your mouth. He swears he's only eating them because he didn't want them to go to waste, and that he would stop once he finished the head of garlic. But just when I finally thought it was over, I caught him sneaking a second one into the kitchen last night when he thought I was asleep. I confronted him about his secret grocery trip this morning, and he got really defensive and denied it. I'm trying not to nag here, but it's really wearing on me. The garlicky aura surrounding him makes me want to avoid him at all costs. But I don't want to do that because he's my boyfriend. Am I the asshole for giving him an ultimatum of no more eating garlic? Edit for context. His diet seems healthy overall and he goes to the gym a lot. He had a doctor's appointment not long ago and I don't think anything came up, but I can ask him to go again. Sorry if the title is confusing, I just feel bad because I did give him an ultimatum this morning, which I know isn't good. I really love him and don't want to break up, but I just don't know what to do. He hasn't come back since this morning. Relevant comments. If you really can't stand it, convey that. I tried to explain when I talked to him this morning. I told him that the other weird food combos don't really bother me, but the particular smell of this is just too much. He said that I just need more time to get used to it, but it's already been nearly 2 weeks already. Sad face. Maybe if you eat more, you'll just get used to it? And maybe he's suffering from a vitamin deficiency and should go to a doctor. I tried that too, crying emoji. When he first started, I ate a bite, just to see if it was actually good, but I just can't bring myself to eat any more. He's not talking to me since this morning, but I'll try texting him tomorrow about a doctor's appointment. His usual diet. Besides the occasional unique food choice, I think his diet's pretty healthy. He eats his vegetables and gets protein and all that, and he goes to the gym. Is there anything else weird going on? We haven't been going on our usual dates for the past 2-ish months, and he's had to leave to take calls a bit. But that's just because he's been swamped at work, nothing weird. His busy season is almost over though, which is good. OP is voted not the asshole. Update. Same post, February 21st, 2024, the next day. Thank you all for your advice yesterday. It gave me a lot to think about. As it turns out, some of your comments ended up being spot on. Yesterday evening, I tried texting him about seeing a doctor like you guys suggested. He never replied. I guess he still has me muted. I spent the night tossing and turning. I kept going over what I was going to say to him when he got home. Not that it mattered because he didn't come back last night. That worried me. So this morning, I checked his location. He stopped sharing it with me through his phone, but I guess he forgot I can still see it on Snapchat. It showed him about 30 minutes away at some house off a random back road. I was pretty confused and honestly panicked. All his friends that I know of live in the city. I tried to call him again and was sent a voicemail. So I drove over there to see what was up. When I got to the house, I noticed a woman about my age gardening in the front yard. I was pretty upset already, so I flat out asked her if she had seen my partner. She seemed surprised and asked if I meant Jake. She invited me inside, and there he was. Apparently, she's into gardening, and they met at her stand last fall when he went to stock up on onions at our local farmer's market. They hit it off and have been seeing each other for the past 6 months, and made it official back when his busy season started. She said lately she's been giving Jake the garlic she grew last summer since it's going to be bad soon. That's why he was so insistent on eating it by himself instead of cooking it into a shared dish like normal, and why he's been eating onions like an apple instead of letting me use them on my sandwiches. He didn't want to give me her presents because, in his own words, she grew it with love for me, and if you ate them, you would have known. Question mark, question mark, question mark. At that point, I saw red, so I just left. Since then, Jake's been blowing up my phone about how we can fix this and that he won't do it again, but I'm so over it at this point. Just when I thought my life couldn't get any worse, while I was moving his stuff to the curb, I found his stash of garlic. Shoved in the back of his closet was 1 pound of garlic in a Home Depot bucket along with letters she had written him. I'm keeping the garlic. I mean, come on, you had to have known it was coming. I don't think we can ever come back from his cheating, but I'm going to at least get some good meals out of this terrible situation. Please send me your favorite recipes to use the garlic in. I need a distraction to keep my mind off of everything. Too long didn't read, he's been cheating on me with a garlic farmer for the past 6 months. I wish I was joking. Editor's note, OP has been posting an r/garlic and r/cooking asking for recipes here and here. On r/cooking, OP posts, recipe/food with garlic. Any recommendations for food to make with lots of garlic? Please reply ASAP. Thank you. And then on r/garlic, OP posts, what to do with 1 pound of garlic? I have a ton of extra garlic. What recipes can I cook with it? Want to be rid of it as soon as possible. Thank you. There's also a great comment exchange on r/garlic here. User Fletch comments, if you can't eat it fast enough, some of its health benefits can still be gained as a suppository. 1 clove at a time. OP responds, I think maybe that is not a good idea. Editor's note 2. OP commented on this post. Whoa, hey Reddit, thank you all for the advice and great recipes, and thanks to you/Lucy Aria Rose for helping me to share my story. All these comments made me think about how this must have been for the farmer, so much so that I reached out for her today. I might have drunkenly found her on Insta the night Jake dumped me, not my proudest moment. I can see what he saw in her. She's sweet as can be and was apparently just as blindsided by his cheating as I was. We got to talking and she even offered to help me with my goodbye garlic dinner that I've been planning for this weekend using some of the recipes I've seen. I'm honestly a bit nervous to be face to face with her just because of how much this whole thing has hurt me, but I might take her up on it. I have collected the garlic post for you all for the context of the tagline. Little did we know it was actually about someone's boyfriend cheating on them with a garlic farmer. Oh my god, I can't even imagine just having your partner eating a clove of fucking garlic every night and dealing with that smell. And by the way, if you're ever cooking garlic, open the cloves up and bake it. That'll help to neutralize some of the smell the garlic will naturally produce. If you get garlic on your hands or the house smells like garlic, citrus is your best friend. Wash your hands with like lemon pledge or something, drink some orange juice, and as crazy as this sounds, I've seen my stepmom boil lemons in order to get the smell of garlic out of the house, and it works. The lemon fucking dies though. This post was collected by Dread Caterpillar 77. Their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a fucking pogo stick. The original OP is, boyfriend is a wreck. Originally posted to r/relationships March 23rd, 2014. Me, 22 female, with my boyfriend, 24 male, of 3 years. He found out that his ex is engaged and literally won't stop crying. Content warning for obsessive behavior, harassment, and stalking. I, 22 female, met my boyfriend 24 male 3 years ago through some mutual friends. He was pretty guarded, and I was the one that pursued him. We were long distance. I was living in Oregon, he was living in Washington, until I moved in with him last year. My boyfriend has only had one other relationship and a hookup before me. He stopped talking to the hookup a long time ago because she was crazy. But he kept in touch with his ex until she cut contact with him around 2 years ago. They dated when he was 15 and it lasted for around 2 years. And then she dumped him because he had no self-respect. Apparently she's the reason why my boyfriend is so guarded now. I'll admit that I was pretty jealous of her and was glad when she cut contact with him, because she's beautiful and my boyfriend talked about her as if she had all of life's answers. This past January, I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard my boyfriend crying quietly. I could tell that he was looking at his phone, and I wasn't sure whether or not to say anything since I wasn't sure if he just wanted a private moment or not. After a while, he got up to go to the bathroom, so I took a peek at his phone. He was on Facebook, looking at his ex's profile. She had gotten engaged and there were pictures of the ring and everything. It's been 2 months now, and my boyfriend has been breaking down out of nowhere. I keep asking him to talk to me about it, but he won't. I told him to talk to a therapist, and he got really insulted and said that he doesn't believe in therapy. I'm unsure of what to do since this happens at least twice a week. I love him, but he's always seemed a bit distant to me, and obviously this woman is the reason why. Should I contact her and ask her if she has any insight? I'm starting to think that she must have said something to upset him like this because he didn't seem that bothered when his ex was dating other people. Too long didn't read, boyfriend of 3 years has been crying about twice a week since he found out that his ex-girlfriend got engaged, and won't talk to me or a therapist. I'm wondering if his ex said something specifically to set him off and thinking that I should contact her. Relevant comments. Deleted user. Right. Okay. No. Don't contact her. Her job is finished. If her ex still has problems with their relationship, that's his issue. Now you, Missy, do not play Miss Fix-It here. You can't fix the fact that your boyfriend is actually still in love with another woman. You can be the most perfect woman on earth, but while he still has her as his dream woman, you don't have a shit show. Honestly, and as hard as this may be, I'd talk to him about it again. And then, if there is no resolution, I'd consider moving on. You deserve someone who thinks you are the best woman on earth, not some distant ex from his high school years. Good luck, OP, and big hugs. This sucks balls. OP responds, "Thank you for your reply. I was insecure about my boyfriend's relationship with his ex from the start. They didn't talk that often, but they'd catch up once every few months through Skype or something. She lives on the East Coast, and when Hurricane Sandy hit, he called her, texted her, and messaged her on Skype despite her having cut off contact with him prior to that. I didn't even know that he still had her phone number." God, this post has been dated incredibly by the mention of Skype and Hurricane Sandy in the same comment. Is this relationship hopeless? I knew that he still had a bit of a thing for her, but I didn't know the extent of that until now. If he can't move on after all this time, I don't understand why he got into a relationship with me. Deleted user responds, "Sometimes we think we are more emotionally available than we actually are, and I want you to know this. It is not your fault. I find this happens with people who run away from their feelings and don't process grief. It all comes back and bites them in the bum. Big time. He probably didn't know it at the time when he got with you that he was like this, and now it's just spiraled out of his control. I'm going to be rough, and I'm sorry. You sound like an exceptionally loving and patient girlfriend. Actually, to be honest, he sounds like a bit of a jerk putting his ex-girlfriend before you emotionally. And no, I think in the long term, you'll find it to be an uphill battle with him. I think a massive turnaround is highly unlikely if he's this bad 3 years into your relationship. 3 years is a lot to give up on, I know, but think about it. Wouldn't you rather be with someone who thinks you are the most amazing woman in the world?" OP responds, quoting the previous comment, 3 years is a lot to give up on, I know, but think about it. Wouldn't you rather be with someone who thinks you're the most amazing woman in the world? Sad face. I love him. From the moment I saw him, I knew that I wanted to be with him. He's incredibly smart and charming, but you're right. I've always felt insignificant in comparison to his ex, and I don't think that I realized quite how much. If I think about it though, there were clues I didn't pick up on. When we first started dating, I told him at some point that he didn't seem to want to open up to me, and he told me it was because his ex had taught him not to become too vulnerable. I thought that this would pass as we got more serious about each other, and he did open up a bit more, but whenever he caught up with his ex, he'd be distant with me again for a while. I don't know why his ex cut off contact with him. but after she did, he did seem more invested in our relationship, and so I had hope for us. He was the one that asked if I wanted to move in with him, but now this happened, and he barely wants to talk with me. Update 1, March 25th, 2014, 2 days after the original post. It's over, I think. I called my dad and asked him to help me move back home. These last 2 days have been really emotional. My boyfriend was gone all day yesterday. He was gone when I woke up, that's fine, I assumed he went to work early, but he still wasn't home when I went to bed. I texted him once I woke up to say good morning and twice at night, one asking if he was coming home for dinner and another asking if he was alright. I also tried calling his cell, but he didn't pick up. I thought that I deserved some answers, so I decided to snoop, something that I've done once before when I was feeling insecure about his relationship with his ex. Well, on his laptop, hidden in a bunch of subfolders, was an MS document with his ex's name. I read it, and I'm assuming that he just saved the last conversation that he had with her right before she cut contact with him. It started out normally, but then he asked how her relationship with her, now fiancé, boyfriend was going. She said that it was really good, and that she was happy. And then it got weird, because he said something like, "Really? Are you sure?" She said yes, and said that was a weird question. And he said, "I don't know. I don't believe that you're that happy." I don't remember everything exactly because my head was spinning, but he basically told her that her fiancé, then boyfriend, will never treat her as well as he did, and that they've known each other X number of years and managed to stay friends after their breakup, that they've helped each other grow as people, and that she should really give him another chance. He said that he's waited for her all these years, and that he loves her, and always believed they'd wind up together. This was all while he was with me, by the way. She called him an asshole, and told him that he had a lot of balls to say all of that to her when she told him a long time ago that they're only ever going to be friends, and that he's an even bigger asshole for doing this while they were both in relationships. She told him to go to hell and to break up with me for my sake, because I deserve better. And that's not even the worst part. My boyfriend woke me up this morning by calling my cell and telling me to come to the kitchen. He said that he made me breakfast. So I go to the kitchen getting ready for a fight. He and I never fight, but I'm so goddamn hurt. And he made what honestly looked like an amazing breakfast with a ring box in the middle of the table. He told me to open it. I did. He said something like, "These last 3 years with me has been an adventure, and he hopes to keep making new adventures with me." I guess around this time I snapped out of whatever haze I've been in and exploded. I demanded to know where he was all day yesterday, why he wouldn't contact me, why he's been crying over his ex for the last 3 months. Everything. He got mad at me for being mad. He told me that I should be happy because he was proposing, and wasn't that what I wanted? I asked him why, when it's so obvious that he'd rather be with his ex. He told me that she's obviously moved on, so it's time for him to move on too. I've never been so angry in my life. I've been so incredibly patient with this man and done my best to be understanding of his situation. I've literally given him all that I had, but I'm not going to get married to him just to be his consolation prize. It's so ironic because had he proposed 4 months earlier, I would have been ecstatic. Now it's just broke our relationship. So yeah, I called my dad, crying, and he's on his way to help me move back in with him and my mom. That's it. I'm a wreck, but I think it's just because everything wrong and twisted in this relationship is hitting me, and it took so long for me to understand, and my ex is just sitting on the couch with his laptop. Thank you guys so much for helping me see how unfair this whole relationship was. I read every one of your comments, even if I didn't get a chance to respond to them all. Too long didn't read, he proposed because his ex moved on. So, he wanted to move on. I'm moving back home with my parents because whenever I get married, I want to be that man's first choice. Relevant comments. Downvoted deleted commenter. He made a mistake. People have made bigger mistakes before and overcome it. He was putting you number one by proposing to you. You said you had 3 years of a happy relationship together before this. Although he had a temporary lapse in judgment, he still wants you. You're looking for an incredibly perfect fairy tale where everything plays out exactly like you wanted it. After you break up, you'll start to realize all the things he did to say and show he loved you. Things that should trump this revelation. Sounds like things are your way or the highway. Hopefully if another man loves you, he'll be willing to put up with that. But he totally ignored the confession that he was trying to get back with his ex while in the middle of a relationship. Opie responded to that. I thought that my relationship was a happy one, yes, but I didn't know that my ex was declaring his love for his ex-girlfriend and trying to win her back while he was still with me. Nor did I know that once she blocked him from Facebook, he was logging into my account to keep tabs on her. If you honestly believe that someone that's been crying for 3 months over an ex's engagement really wanted to be with me, you're in the minority. And judging by the fact that he had bought the ring the day before he proposed, he really hadn't been planning it at all. I'm astounded by your post, honestly. Update 2, April 15th, 2014, 3 weeks after the last update. First, I want to thank everyone that commented on my last post. I really took your comments to heart, and all of the support means the world to me. I took a break from Reddit, but logged in today to find a few PMs asking for another update. So, here it goes. My ex went more or less crazy after I moved back home. I blocked him from essentially everything, changed all of my passwords, and deactivated my Facebook. So, he had no way of reaching me aside from literally driving to my parents' house to see me. Apparently, he started sending messages to my friends, some of them are mutual friends, asking to use their Skype accounts to talk to me. He told them that I stole some things from him when I moved out and he wanted them back. I got a few phone calls from my friends asking me about this, but they told me that they knew that I didn't steal anything from him because that's not like me at all. But they wanted to know why he was so desperate to contact me. I wasn't ready to tell the whole story. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would believe me, so I told them that I didn't know what was going on, but asked them to not give them their Skype accounts by any means. A few days after that, the phone calls started, all from a few different numbers that I didn't recognize. I didn't pick up any of them. But one day, I'd have about 20 missed calls from one number, then another 20 plus from a different number. I had to set my phone to only allow calls from specific numbers. Otherwise, it would go straight to my voicemail. Even if he couldn't reach me, he succeeded in making me feel pretty isolated. After the 5th day of phone calls, I broke down and told my mom everything that happened. She didn't say much, she mostly let me talk. Afterwards, she told me that I made the right decision, but that there's absolutely no reason why I should be going through this alone. She said that she didn't want to push me to tell her what happened until I was ready, but that the best thing that I could be doing right now is spending time with people that love and support me. So, after going with me to get my phone number changed, she encouraged me to start calling my friends and telling them what happened, and to just hang out with them more in general. Great mother right there. I had it stuck in my head that everyone would side with my ex and tell me that I made a terrible mistake, that his intentions were good, and I blew things out of proportion by insinuating that he only proposed because his ex-girlfriend got engaged. But I was actually overwhelmed by my friends' responses. Apparently, my ex had been telling everyone that we broke up because I had major jealousy issues over his ex. But once they heard my side of the story, I was actually shocked by how many of them said that it made sense. They've all told me that I've done the right thing and that they'd back me up no matter what. I just felt this huge sense of relief and have been making an effort to go out more. I'll be honest though, there are times where I wonder if I was wrong. Sometimes I think that maybe my ex had been grieving over his old relationship and proposing to me was his way of starting over. Sometimes I think that I turned down the only marriage proposal that I'll ever get. And sometimes I think that maybe I should have accepted because I loved him, and you don't often find people that you truly love. But then, on the days that I'm feeling wiser, I remind myself of how bizarre our last few weeks together were, how I always knew deep down that I was second best for him, and how he's been behaving since we broke up. I've never seen him so unstable. He was always so calm and logical, so this is completely new to me. I know deep down that I did the right thing, but sometimes what you know in your head and feel in your heart are so completely different. So that's basically it. I'm just going through the motions and I'm going to make the appointment with a therapist. I wish that I had something more profound to update you guys with, some added wisdom, but I don't. My best advice for anyone going through something similar is what my mom told me. Surround yourself with people that love and support you. And from personal experience, that is the best advice that you can get when you're going through a shitty situation like this. It helped me wonders. Too long didn't read, ex-boyfriend went batshit crazy trying to contact me. I isolated myself. I thought everyone would side with him, but after some coaxing, I told my mom and friends my side of the story, and they believed me. I go back and forth between thinking that I did the right thing to thinking that I did the wrong thing, but I've managed to maintain no contact and am making an appointment to see a therapist. Final update. June 1st, 2014, nearly 2 months after the last update. Hello Reddit, I just wanted to update you guys on some things that have happened. I also wanted to apologize for not responding to any of the comments on my last post. I wasn't in a great place at the time and wasn't feeling up to it, but I did read each of your responses and truly appreciate those who took the time to comment. First, my ex mailed me the engagement ring that he bought shortly after my last update. I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't sure if the ring was what he had been claiming that I stole. I also felt weird about mailing it back, because what if he claimed that he never got it? So my dad volunteered to personally deliver the ring back to him. I don't know if anything was said when my dad brought it back, and I never asked. Also, quick Oz insertion here, if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, take photos and documentations of the package the high-value item was delivered in, especially if you think it might be a ploy that they're going to claim that you stole something from them. Back to the post. Second, I heard from some friends that 2 weeks ago, my ex bought a ticket and flew to New York City to try and talk to his ex. Somehow he found out the name of the company that she worked for, looked up its location, and waited in front of the building all day. I have no idea what happened, but apparently there aren't any signs of her coming back, so I'm assuming that it didn't go very well. I can't believe that he did that, and I can't believe that I dated someone that was that crazy for 3 years. But I suppose it helps every time that I hear about something like this because it reinforces the fact that I did the right thing. I met with 2 therapists. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Every time that I said something, he'd ask, "And how do you feel about that?" No feedback or suggestions whatsoever. At the end, he suggested that I was depressed and might want to consider a few different medications. I don't intend on seeing that guy again. I met the second one last week though, and I liked her a lot. She told me that she doesn't think that I need to see her regularly, but to feel free to make appointments whenever I'm feeling especially down or stressed. So I think I'll do that. A few people asked why I wanted to see a therapist in my last post, because I seemed to be doing the right things. Well, the problem was that even though I knew I was doing the right thing, I didn't necessarily feel that they were right. I still doubted myself, and I felt like a different person than I used to be. Prior to this mess, I was always very optimistic and happy in general. I always tried to make the best of things, but at the time of my last post, I felt down. And even though I was making an effort to see friends, I wasn't really enjoying it. Anyway, this brings me to where I am now. I started a paid internship with the chance of getting hired full-time, almost a month ago, and I love it. I love the people, the work itself, and the fact that I'm getting back into a routine, and I'm a little embarrassed to say that I'm attracted to the guy that hired me, who is about my age. There's nothing going on, and I'm definitely not ready or willing to be in a relationship. It's simply the fact that he's the nicest, best-mannered person that I've ever met. He's always positive, polite, and smiling, so it's impossible not to be in a good mood around him. So, it's not that I think my next relationship should be with him, or that I have feelings for him. It's just that I've realized that the type of person that I should be looking for is someone that makes me feel good, just by being around them. I don't give much thought to my ex anymore. It's amazing how much life changes over the course of a few months, but I think that everything is turning out for the best. Too long didn't read, ex-boyfriend mailed me my ring. Flew to New York City to try and talk to his ex, and nothing came of it. In the meantime, life is looking up for me. I found a therapist that I like, I have a paid internship, and I met the kind of guy that I should be looking for, whenever I feel ready for another relationship. I won't be doing too much of a tangent because this was already an extremely long post and I was doing several mid-inserts, but this post in general has a lot of really good advice and a lot of really good points of self-reflection that I think a lot of people, including myself, can learn from, whether or not they made the right choice, the wrong choice, or perhaps how to handle things in the future. I mean, it has a lot of good advice, and it has a lot of tremendous things in it that are good notes to learn from. And I think honestly, one of the important ones, and this is something that I wish that I had done when I was going through a lot, is even if you think that people might side with your ex or they might side against you, it's still always good to have a conversation about it because you never know. It's either you say nothing, they control the narrative, and you have to deal with the consequences of it, or you say something, and maybe the general reception may not be 100% in your favor, but people are still going to be receptive of you being honest with them and talking to them about it, and that's always going to be more helpful and important than just assuming the worst case scenario out the gate. Because trust me, I made that mistake, and it led to a lot of pain down the way in my life. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.